Hey everyone, it's KS Bros. Thank you for joining me today for this episode of the New York Mets franchise. We got a great episode on hand today as the Mets travel to LA to take on the 90-27 Dodgers. Yes, I said that correctly, the 90-27 Dodgers. Following up from last episode, the Mets ended up sweeping that series from the Rockies, starting off their road trip on the right foot, and now they're off to play the Dodgers in a four-game series. The Mets did take the first game, beating Clayton Kershaw. David Peterson outpitched the All-Star. And here we are in today's game. The Mets have their standard lineup against lefties. The Dodgers are throwing out their youngster Julio Urias. The only difference in the Mets lineup is Dominic Smith is getting the start today instead of Yoenis Cespedes. The biggest reason for that change is Smith has been dominating, and I want to see how he can play against the lefty. Now look at the Dodgers lineup. They got youngster and up-and-coming star Gavin Lux at second. He's batting first. Then there's Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, who is in his walk year, Cody Bellinger, the MVP, Max Muncy, the first baseman who came out of nowhere, then Jock Peterson at center, Justin Turner at third, Will Smith at center, and Urias in the ninth spot. And let's get into the episode. Alright, and let's get into the action as we are here at Dodgers Stadium as the Mets are taking on the Dodgers here in LA. The Mets continue their road trip after sweeping the Rockies and after taking the first game of this series. They're going up against the Dodgers, who are already at 90 wins. They're on an incredible pace. They could finish with 130 victories if they keep that pace up. For the Dodgers, they got Julio Urias on the mound. I apologize if I mispronounced that. He's having a great season this year. He had a tremendous season the year prior. Urias is a 23-year-old from Mexico who made his debut at the age of 19. He has battled some injuries the past couple years, but he is definitely a star in the making. First bat of the game, Jeff McNeil draws the walk, and now Alonso lines one to right field that drops in front of Bellinger as the Mets have guys on first and second, nobody out. But now J.D. Davis up to bat, and he strikes out on a dirty changeup, and they'll bring up Michael Conforto, two guys on, two outs. He finds himself in an 0-2 count, but he is here back at Dodger Stadium, where he was a star only about a week ago, hitting that heroic home run off of Aroldis Chapman to tie the All-Star game up. But he grounds out there to Corey Seager at short, and that will end the inning. For the Mets, they got ace Jacob DeGrom on the mound, 2020 All-Star. This is definitely going to be a pitching duel today. Urias going up against DeGrom. First bat of the game, Gavin Lux, the 22-year-old, the first-round pick by the Dodgers in 2016. He draws a walk. This is Lux's second season in the majors. He came up late in 2019. And DeGrom gets Seager to ground out into a double play, erasing that leadoff walk. And that will bring up Mookie Betts in the 3-hole. And just comparing to real life real quick, this is definitely a disappointment for the Dodgers as they traded for Betts during his walk year. And unfortunately for Dodgers fans, they aren't getting to see him play. But look at that play by the flying squirrel as he grabs that one out of midair. McNeil is showing off his versatility. Now moving to the bottom of the second here after a scoreless top half. DeGrom gets Muncy swinging on that changeup. And that'll bring up Jock Peterson. Peterson's first at bat on the game, and DeGrom gets him swinging at one in the dirt, and Ramos comes up firing to end the inning. Both pitchers are off to a strong start here. Top of the third, 2 outs. Cano grounded to the right side, and Lux makes an amazing play as he dives to his left, throwing out Cano. Bottom of the third here, DeGrom finds himself in some trouble. Smith and Lux on base. They both walked, and DeGrom gets Seager to ground one out, and DeGrom throws him out at first, keeping this game 0-0 after 3. I'm moving top of the fourth. Conforto up to bat. 2 guys out, Alonso and Davis, both retired by Urias. The 2-2 pitch, and Conforto flies one to left field, but due to the shift, Betts has a long way to go. He lays out, but he can't make the catch as the ball goes off of his glove, and Conforto is in at second. Looking at that stat line there, Conforto is leading the squad in doubles at 28. And that will bring up Dominic Smith, the hero from last episode against the Rockies. And first pitch swinging. He hits one deep to center field. And Peterson cannot get to that as it bounces and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Just like that, 2 pitches and the Mets are on the board. Now Wes Ramos up to bat here in a full count. And he flies a lazy fly ball to Bellinger to end the inning. Now bottom of the inning here, Betts is on second after a walk and stolen base. Muncy up, and he lines one to Rosario, who snags it and nearly gets Betts for a double play. But the inning's still alive here for Peterson. Peterson's swinging, and that one gets just past Rosario's glove as Betts comes home to score, tying this game up as the Dodgers even up the score. Now, top of the fifth here, Rosario is on third after he walked and then a sacrifice bunt by DeGrom. Cano in a 2-0 count, and he flies one to deep right field, but Bellinger runs that one down as Urias keeps Rosario stranded at third. Now, top of the sixth here, similar scenario as earlier. Alonso and Davis retired, and Conforto goes the opposite way. Betts does a good job of cutting that one off, keeping Conforto to a single. But now Dom Smith back up to bat. The pitch from Urias. And that is a moonshot from Dom Smith as he smashes that ball into the right field crowd. First pitch swinging once again. And Smith now has his 3rd RBI on the game, his 9th home run on the season, and the Mets have retaken the lead 3-1. Smith, who wasn't originally in the starting lineup today, as this was a lefty-lefty matchup, we made the game time decision to put him in, and it has worked out so far. And that'll be it for Urias as Dave Roberts comes out to take him out. Roberts will bring in Stripling from the pen. Stripling, this is his 4th year on the Dodgers. He's having a decent year this year. A high 3 ERA. A solid arm out of the bullpen. He comes on to face Ramos. And first pitch swinging, Ramos flies out to right field as Stripling does a good job out of the pen. Now moving to the bottom of the 6th, DeGrom still in the game, facing Mookie Betts here. And Betts lines one to left field, and Davis misplays it very poorly. And Betts is in at second. Davis probably wasn't going to get to that ball. Either way. Now a couple batters later, after a Muncy walk, Jock Peterson is up to bat with 2 guys in scoring position. And DeGrom pitches around him, walking Peterson to load the bases. And that'll bring up Justin Turner, the ex-Met. He grounds one to Rosario. A double play ball, but Rosario throws wide, pulling Alonso off of first as a run comes home to score. A bad play by Rosario. Next batter up, Will Smith, and he flies one out to Davis as DeGrom limits the damage. It's a close one here in LA. Top of the 7th now. Nimmo on as a pinch hitter. DeGrom's night is over, and Rosario takes off, swiping second. And look at that speed that Rosario generates. A max speed of 20 miles per hour. Will Smith had no chance behind the dish. Now the 3-2 pitch to Nimmo, and he bloops one over the third baseman's head. And Rosario moves up to third with still no one out. That brings up McNeil. The 1-1 pitch. And McNeil lines one to deep left field. Betts cannot get to it. It's over his head. Rosario comes home to score. And Nimmo is at third after a long hit, hard hit single by McNeil. Next batter up, Robbie Cano, a 2-2 count. And he lines one past Muncie's glove down the line. That will get all the way to the corner as Bellinger runs it down. Nimmo comes home to score. Now Alonso up to bat. Blake Trinan is now in pitching for the Dodgers. And Alonso flies one to deep right field. Bellinger gets to that one, but McNeil comes home to score on the sac fly, making it 6-2. Now J.D. Davis up to bat, still looking for his first hit in this ball game. First pitch swing, and he gets one down the middle of the plate, and he drives that into the left field gap as another run comes home to score. The Mets have broken this one open here in the 7th inning. At bottom of the 7th, Dylan Betances in for relief. One guy on, one out. And that is a single through the hole. 2 guys on for the Dodgers. And that will bring up Mookie Betts. The 2-2 pitch. And he leaves a hanger. And Betts smashes that one to deep left field. No chance for Davis, as that is a 3-run blast for Mookie Betts, his 17th on the season. And all of a sudden, this game is a 2-run ball game. Betances is able to get the next 2 outs to end the inning. Now here in the 8th, Ramos leading off the inning. He goes the opposite way, lining one into the right field gap. Ramos hustling, and he slides in safely at second. Now a couple batters later, after 2 guys out, Nunez is in as a pinch runner. McNeil, first pitch swinging, lines one through the hole. And Nunez comes in to score, making this game 8-5. Now Lugo on in the 8th. He retired the first 2 batters, and now he's facing Chris Taylor at a 2-2 count. That slider is just low as Taylor shows good patience. Now the full count pitch from Lugo, and he gets him swinging on a down and low fastball. A great pitch by Lugo. Now after a scoreless top of the 9th, Edwin Diaz is in for the save. He has had a bounce back year. 18-19 for save opportunities. A good ERA. First batter up, he gets a ground out to shortstop, 1 down. Now Gavin Lux up to bat. He is yet to have been retired, drawing a couple walks and a single. And Diaz gets him swinging on the high and in fastball. Diaz is making quick work of these Dodgers, and now Corey Seager, he goes down swinging on the slider. The Mets close this one out, extending their win streak to 6 games, as they have played great on this West Coast trip so far. This game started out as a pitching duel. DeGrom and Urias were going back and forth. The Mets were having a lot of trouble with Urias' changeup, but Dom Smith was able to knock him out of the game. Smith got the offensive production started with that 2-out RBI double, and then that 2-out 2-run blast later on in the game. Smith has been a big part of this turnaround, and Edwin Diaz picks up the save. And before we conclude today's episode, I want to quickly look at the NL East standings, as there is a big development. In the Colorado Rockies series, I pointed out how the Mets were 7.5 behind the Braves. Now, only one series later, the Mets are 2.5 back. The Braves are skidding on a 7-game losing streak, and the Mets are on a 5-game winning streak after sweeping the Rockies and taking the first 2 games of this Dodgers series. The Mets are currently holding down the second wild card spot, but they are chasing down the Braves. And I forget if it's the next series or the one after that, but the Braves are coming to town soon. So we'll see if these Metsies can pull into first place. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.